Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is June 25th. Today's episode is going to cover some Rocket Pool and Ethereum news. So on the Rocket Pool side, we're going to be talking about RPL collateral limits being reduced because of RPIP 30. On the Ethereum side, staking side, we're going to be talking about new LST in town from NodeSet and Gravita. On the Ethereum side, we're going to be talking about ETF news, ARB token staking. I'm going to finish the episode with an interesting bit of news coming out of the Solana ecosystem, which I think might even be a first for Rocket Fuel. So let's begin.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Okay, so to begin with, we have this update from Langer saying, "Hey everyone, as per RPIP 30, the RPL withdrawal limit has been reduced to 60% from 100% of a node's bonded ETH. Please let us know if there are any issues. Thanks, Rocket Pool." So what does this mean? This means that the amount of ETH that you had staked, the amount of RPL that you had staked on your node, that amount that you can withdraw now has been reduced. So before RPIP 30 went live, the RPL that you had staked was at 150% of your bonded / borrowed amount, because it was 16 ETH for both of those to begin with. Now, one of the things that happened was with RPIP 30 here after Atlas is that the amount of the RPL withdrawable has been reduced. So now is down to 60%. This, of course, is in line with the RPIP. So as you can see over here in the RPIP itself, this RPIP 30 says, within 2 weeks after 6 months rewards go out, set withdrawal limit to 60% of a node's bonded ETH. So that is the step that we're at now. And it means that, if you are one of the few people remaining with high collateral levels, some of your RPL will now become more easily made liquid if you want. So you can withdraw some RPL if you want. So that is a nice development. I think it's actually a little bit late. It was supposed to happen a little while ago, but it's taken a little bit longer to get it done than I think I'd anticipated. Okay, moving on to some staking news now. Here we've got a little bit of alpha hidden in the docs of the Gravita protocol. I don't see any official announcements about this on the Gravita Twitter. There might have been something said on their Discord, but Gravita are saying they are releasing GravETH, GRAV ETH, and this is going to be a decentralized staking with Gravita and NodeSet powered by and Stakewise. So we've been talking about this on Rocket Fuel a lot recently, that NodeSet and Gravita's partnership on Stakewise has gone live. Yesterday we talked about how they've got a few hundred ETH there now, and this is the new token that they'll be you can mint as well. So you can deposit your ETH into their vault, and you can mint GravETH with that, and then use that in DeFi. So they said that NodeSet and Gravita are excited to present GravETH, a one-of-a-kind liquid staking token designed for users who prioritize decentralization, security, and yield. By leveraging unique strengths, Gravita and NodeSet can offer uniquely differentiated products that meet yield, security, decentralization, and distribution, compliance, and capital efficiency expectations. So they're really leaning into all the positive terms that you could get for an LST. So they have a unique value proposition that they explain here. They said the integration of Stakewise customizability with NodeSet's extensive distribution and security offers Gravita unparalleled control and transparency over its collateral base. This collaboration unlocks a range of advanced capabilities for GravETH users, empowering Gravita to deliver preferred treatment and innovative strategies. Here's how these benefits translate to tangible advantages for users. So you'll get enhanced LTV and debt caps if you're using GravETH instead of other LSTs, and you'll get as high as 90% or more, allowing users to leverage more of their staked assets without increasing their risk exposure. And then you can also get aggressive debt cap increases, and that's through leveraging their Gravita's systems. You can raise the debt caps more aggressively, and then they have some bespoke strategies as well that you might be able to get access to, and their staking fees will be a flat 10%. And said currently targeted at 10%, so that might change, but they said that that's become an industry standard, though some large staking providers charge more. Of course, Rocket Pool charges 14% and Coinbase charges 25%. Now, participating protocols. So this is built upon Stakewise version 3 infrastructure, and they said that there's private versus public delegation, OS ETH minting only versus OS and Vault token minting, and then there's a whole bunch of other information as well. So they explain how the Stakewise integration happens. Then with NodeSet, they explain who their node operators are, how they are geographic, client usage, validation hardware, on-premises bare metal, cloud hosted, and jurisdictionally diverse. And they've got node operators across the world basically doing really cool stuff. Of course, that's I'm a NodeSet node operator. I've been selected to be one, but I haven't I'm not taking part in this Gravita vault. And then finally, this section on Gravita finishes with risks. So they have risks and mitigants, collateral callability, and then they have like breakdown of all the different ones within that. So if you want to understand the risks that might occur with this product, definitely check out this information. But yeah, congratulations on Gravita, everyone involved. Okay, next we are talking about a home staking setup. So this is from stakesaurus, also known as Samuel Chung, who wrote a staking guide on how to set up your validators to stake from home. Well, stakesaurus has made an update to their documents now, and it says updated my ETH home staking guide after the last version 9 months ago. So there's some new content here. This includes things about optimized instructions for solo stakers to run additional services to scale their earnings, added all client combinations. Here there's stuff about DVT as well, so starting with Diva and adding Opal and SSV soon. There's information about bonded validators, so this area is a work in progress, so that will cover things like Rocket Pool, Stader, Lidos, CSM, EtherFi, and Puffer. And then we have hieroglyphs here, that's also a work in progress, and they added simplified ETH consensus and validator concepts for non-Web3 readers. And then this is optimized for learning journeys of non-technical people. So it's about how to set up a validator, for people like myself who when I was starting out my journey was far less technical than I am now. And then this was produced with a partnership between, as is a version of a guide that was used with ETH staking and Diva staking. And then there's some more information here as well. And then there's a nice little picture of a home staking setup, which actually looks really cool, like exposed metal system, which is nice. So yeah, this is really cool stuff. Stakesaurus, thank you for sharing that. Okay, moving on to Ethereum news now. The only place to start nowadays is the ETH ETF news. And here we have Eric Balkunas, who is from the Bloomberg team, obviously, about the ETFs. Everyone knows who he is by now. He says Van Eck just filed an 8A form for spot ETH, which is just part of the process, but it should be noted that they filed for 8A for spot Bitcoin exactly 7 days before launch. Good sign for our January 2nd over under 7 days from now. But again, anything is possible. We'll hear more soon. He says I had to delete depots because I had June 2nd, thinking denial, but the summer's going by so fast. It's also noting they filed this within 24 hours of their CEO tweeting this, and Jan Van Eck was visiting the SEC yesterday. So maybe that was in relation to the spot ETH ETF. But yeah, it looks like if they follow the systems that they had in the last Bitcoin ETF approval, then maybe we're 7 days away from the launch of the Ethereum ETFs, which would be really exciting. And then here from VanEck, we got Matthew Siegel, who said VanEck to waive the fee for their spot Ethereum ETF initially. In an email to ETF.com, Matthew Siegel, head of digital assets research for VanEck, wrote that the firm aims to be a leader on crypto ETH fees, even if it means we lose money at the outset. And then there's this interesting part of the quote and said the plan is to make it up on volume, in this case decentralized finance volume. So there's some really interesting ideas going on over here. I'm curious to see what it adds up to be. But VanEck, I think they did something similar to this with the BTC launch. Some of the providers went 6 months or the first $1 billion, I think, without fees. I think VanEck was one of them, but I don't remember for sure. So it seems like people in the ETH space are going to be a bit divided about who to go and put their ETF with. The thing with VanEck is obviously there's going to have zero fees, which is incredibly attractive. Then you have someone like Bitwise who has incredibly low fees, but they'll also be donating a percentage of their profits to Protocol Guild, which is really great as well. So there's definitely going to be a little bit of a battle here to try to get those early customers coming into your ETF. And we're still waiting for information to come up from BlackRock as well. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Okay, next we have Ignis here, who is talking about the ARB token and how the Arbitrum DAO is proposing to start staking this. Now, this is actually really interesting because it's kind of similar to some of the stuff that Rocket Pool is planning on doing with the new tokenomics, the community here. And here Ignis says, this time 50% of surplus sequencer fees will be used to reward ARB stakers with 12,000 ETH in annual fees and an ARB price of $1. This translates to a 7% APY. The catch tokens must be staked and delegated to a delegate with a karma score, which calculates participation in DAO forums, off-chain and on-chain votes, etc. And then delegates will receive 1% of the surplus fees. And the goal is, of course, to strengthen the DAO and, of course, help the ARB token as well. But yeah, this is really interesting that they are following this. Now, the ARB chart is like a very, very ugly chart to look at, I'm sorry to say. ARB is down only. So, here Ignis is saying that this is likely a sensible proposal. I think this is the kind of thing that could mark the bottom for the ARB ETH ratio, for this cycle. But of course, I can't say that for sure, but it just looks like that because that ratio is just so bad. And then, yeah, what's really interesting is this kind of mirrors a little bit of the community's plans for with the RPL token about getting it to capture value. So it seems like the ARB community have been paying attention maybe to Rocket Pool's new tokenomics changes. David says it doesn't feel worth it for a 7% APY, and Ignis says it can't argue with that. It's ARB's 24-hour volatility, but still it's a step in the right direction. And of course, ARB today is up 8% on this news, so you get more in one day of holding ARB than you would in a year of rewards. Okay, moving on to some other news now, and there's a bunch of other news actually. So let's get started. The first one is, of course, this report by Reuters saying that the WikiLeaks is Julian Assange is to be freed after pleading guilty to U.S. espionage charge. Now you might be wondering, why am I covering this news on Rocket Fuel? Well, Julian Assange is a big proponent of crypto and Bitcoin especially, but this was something that a whole lot of people in crypto supported and have wanted this to happen, so much so that Assange DAO raised $55 million, which according to people close to the case said that this release probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for some of the funding that was provided by Assange DAO. So if this is something that you've been campaigning for or wanted to see happen for a long time, it's actually pretty good news, especially when things were looking kind of scary a little while ago about Julian getting extradited to the USA and potentially serving the rest of his life in prison. And of course, this was all for leaking military secrets during the Afghanistan and Iraq wars. Okay, now some other topics as well. This is coming out of the Fed. So here we have Bloomberg sharing news, Walter Bloomberg sharing news about some Fed people working with the Fed and talking about what we can expect in terms of rate cuts this year. Now that is, of course, one part of the Fed's mandate to reduce inflation to 2% and target 5% for unemployment. And the way that they do this is by basically changing interest rates. Interest rates have been high for a while, around 5.25 to 5.5% target rate. And what we're seeing here is this idea that, the rate cuts are going to come because it's been too high for too long. And with the rate cuts coming, there'll be a looser monetary policy. And with a looser monetary policy, there'll be more money printing. And with more money printing, then we will get crypto prices going up. So that is how this all is kind of related. But this news here, coming out of these Fed people saying that there's no rate cuts for 2024 and all the cuts have been shifted to 2025. Now, when 2024 began, we were expecting 6 rate cuts this year. So the ideas of not getting any is kind of scary. Here as well, David Rubenstein says the Fed is not likely to cut rates before the elections. And of course, the elections are in the first week of November. So it's going to be the case that, we're going to have definitely be higher for longer. And this will tell us about what the market might be looking like. I think the reason why they're keeping the rates higher for longer is the labor market is still quite healthy. And I guess they need to get that unemployment rate a bit higher to break the back of inflation once and for all. So, yeah. And as I promised, I'm going to finish today's episode with some Solana news. Solana released this thing called blockchain links, so they're calling it blinks on Solana. For those of you who don't know, it's kind of like a Farcaster frame, but instead of being only used on Farcaster, you can use it anywhere. Now, the way it works is that you have to have a Solana a software wallet built into your browser, and then when you paste the link of one of their blinks, that shows up in the browser wherever you are. So they show in tweets, they're showing it in other places, and it's like the Farcaster frames in that it lets you interact with the blockchain in some way. So Solana here is saying, today we connect Solana to the entire internet, vote, donate, mint, swap, pay, use Solana everywhere. So it's quite a big user experience enhancement and step up. And they are evidently very happy about this. And it's definitely gotten some reactions in Ethereum land. So here's one from Ryan Berkmans. And Ryan says, Solana's actions launch seems really powerful. It says Ethereum's strength is our intellectual honesty and our network effects. So in my opinion, we should not shy away from learning from others' great consumer crypto launches. So he says, what is this? Similar to Farcaster frames, but available everywhere. And you need to use it using Solana browser wallet. So most people in Solana use Phantom browser, kind of like how a lot of people in Ethereum use MetaMask. But Phantom, the wallet browser will change the way that your web page is displayed upon encountering one of these links in the browser. So it says Solana's insight here is that Google and Apple effectively anti-Web3, and they are restricting Web3 integrations. So you kind of just bypass that by having their wallet. And they said Mozilla as well. So they're shipping a common consumer user experience directly into every Solana wallet, and this gives Twitter a marketplace of superpowers for all Solana users on desktop. It's really powerful stuff. And then it says Solana is much more vertically integrated, which is why they could do this. The Solana Foundation could talk to the different wallet providers to make sure they had it all set up. It says Ethereum needs to find a way to better coordinate these kinds of magical consumer crypto UX standards, because across wallets, despite our high level of literal decentralization, because if we don't do it, our purity will simply result in significantly worse end user experience across the internet. We look and act like a dinosaur ecosystem. It says, as far as I can tell, the actions launch also includes a library of powerful action links to get started quickly without coding, including payments, transfer, deposit, donate links. The closest analog in Ethereum for these is my app, 3 Cities. He said, I think it would be a good idea for major browser wallets to look at collaborating with Farcaster on a common standard for frames across all wallets and every website, so that we mirror Solana's functionality of extending every app on the internet with Web3 native capabilities. And then we have Emmanuel, our seeker, who says, I'm going to take a break from locking in 2077 collective work and ask, do you know what good marketing looks like now after seeing the market campaign for Solana actions and blinks? Or are you still asking if Ethereum has a marketing problem or not? He says the universe would be in alignment right now if someone created blinks for Ethereum and we marketed the hell out of it. Or does this exist already? And if you want to join Ethereum's unofficial marketing department, we're recruiting, and then there's a link to the 2077 collective Discord if you're interested in that. But Emmanuel here has been like, banging the drum for a few months now, talking about how Solana's like taken a step ahead of Ethereum in terms of memes, but not just memes, but like this culture of shipping products and marketing the hell out of them. Whereas, Ethereum shipped all this stuff, but people don't know what it is. No one's really like hyping it. No one's talking about it. And Emmanuel really gets this idea of like there needing to be hype around your products because that's what captures attention. And then that brings attention to your products, and there has to be a there. So that's what he's saying now Solana are doing. They've got a great new user experience system, and they're hyping the hell out of it, but there's something there for them to be hyping. So if you are interested in hyping Ethereum and doing it in the right way, join Emmanuel here on the 2077 collective and get working about it and put out a good word. And let's all work together on getting our messaging right, our branding right, and making sure that we've got the development happening to be hyping. So on that note, I'm going to end today's episode. So thank you all for watching, listening, and being a part of the Rocket Fuel community. I hope you all have a lovely day ahead, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.